Hi, in this video we will be talking about private label audio ebooks and audio articles. The big question is, how do you take these private label audio ebooks or audio articles and turn them into your own unique product? It's simple. There are many few ways that you can do this, and we'll actually go step by step through this process. So first, you might be wondering, where do you find private label audio ebooks and audio articles? Let's go to Google, for instance. So what I'll be doing is I'll be doing a search on private label ebooks. So as we can see here, we've done a search on private label audio ebooks. Of course, it's going to be harder to find private label audio ebooks versus written ebooks, just because when you do audio ebooks you have to hire somebody to do voiceovers and things like that. So if you do a search on Google, you can more likely find these types of audio ebooks. You can also do a search on private label audio articles, and as you can see, there are a few more than what we searched earlier. With that in mind, when you take private label audio articles, one thing you can do with that is you can put them together and create one private label audio ebook. Now, I'm actually going to go over a few tips that you can actually use that most people will not actually use these methods, so that you can stand out in a crowd. Just say that, for example, 1,000 or 2,000 other people have private label rights to these audio ebooks or audio articles. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So on my computer right now, I have access to private label audio ebooks, and we'll actually use that as an example. So it happens that I hired a professional voiceover artist to record a ebook that I had created a while back, which was on German Shepherd dog training. So if we take a look at these audio ebooks, they're actually split up into sections. So normally when you get a private label audio ebook, they're usually split up in chapters or things like that. And most of the time you just receive the audio. You don't usually receive the actual written material. So with keeping that in mind, let's go ahead and run one of these MP3s just so that you can get an overview of what we're looking at. So we're looking at chapter 3 here, and I'll just play it so that you can hear what it sounds like.
Chapter 3, Basic Care of German Shepherd Pups. Make sure you select a dog that fits into your lifestyle both now and for the future.
So as you can see, I've used a professional voiceover artist who has a professional voice, a radio voice, and which is great for audio ebooks, in fact. So here's the first thing you can do. You can actually split up the audio ebook into more detailed sections. And let's say that it is an audio ebook, just like the one that we looked over just recently. As we can see here, we only have about 6 chapters. So what we could do is we could go through the audio ebook and split them up into the actual sections, and then rename the sections, and then you can edit them, take out the chapters, and rename it so that it becomes big audio, like several audio articles. So that's one way to do it. You could split up the audio ebook, or if it was audio articles, if you could split it up even further, then that's another nice technique right there. And of course the question is, how do you split up an audio ebook? Well, you will need a tool, and I use a free tool. It's called Audacity, and I'll actually go there just so that you can see it. And as I mentioned in the earlier beginning intro video, Audacity is a great program that you can use to edit your actual audio. So keeping that in mind, let's just go ahead and use Audacity to edit that actual article. So right now I have opened chapter 1 with Audacity. Now you'll want to know how to edit it. So basically what you want to do is just basically split it up.
Chapter 1, Introduction, the History of the German Shepherd.
So what you can do is you can actually zoom in, and you can start from the beginning. Let's say, for example,
Chapter 1, Introduction, the History of the German Shepherd.
And then if you go through it and you can find the actual sections, let's say for example that we zoom in. I'm going to move this up a little bit so that you can see it better. Let's say for example that I want to select this part and I want to stop at a certain point. Let's say that I want to stop at this point. And I just want to save that part as a selection and as a different MP3 file. So all you have to do is select what you want, and I'm going to minimize it a little bit so you can see better. Click on File and Export Selection as MP3. You have two choices here. You can either export as MP3 or you can export selection as the MP3 file. I do export selection, just means whatever you chose or whatever you selected. And then you can save that and rename that as section 1 or whatever. So you basically piece out pieces of the audio that you think would be great, and you can extract that audio so that you can make things different. So you click on Save. You can enter details. You can put in section 1. And then it'll save the file, and that's it. So you could do that for the other stuff too. You could highlight the second section, the third section, and things like that. And eventually you'll have many sections that you can look at. So basically, take out pieces of the audio that you would feel would be great for your next unique product. So that way you don't use every single bit. You just piece out and take out little idea bits, and you combine them with other things. You can make videos out with them. So that's another thing. So secondly, create videos from the actual audio ebooks or the actual audio articles. So to create a video, you would simply do what I did earlier, split up the audio. And the second thing is you would want to transcribe the audio or listen through the audio and get the main ideas. You want to transcribe it word by word. If you don't have time to do it, you can always hire somebody to do it. But I find it easier just to listen to the audio and jot down certain, little idea bits. And then once you've done that, you could set it up, open up PowerPoint, use Camtasia, and open up PowerPoint and type in the big outline for the audio. And that way, when people are watching the video, and you record it through PowerPoint, through Camtasia, and then Camtasia produces the PowerPoint video. I won't actually do it in here because it can take 30 minutes or so. But Camtasia will actually show you how to do it step by step. But the main idea here is that you take the audio, you take little main points, write those down, put them into the PowerPoint slide, and then record it using Camtasia. And by doing that, you can create videos. So that's another great way people learn, and a lot of people actually like watching videos. So you take a little idea, main points, and you create videos out of them. And then you resell the videos for whatever rights. But the main thing here is that you do need to look at the license and make sure that you have rights to do certain things that you want to do with the private label audio ebook or with the private label audio articles. And a lot of times private label stuff may not allow you to do that. If you find private label ebooks with no restriction rights or things like that, then they give you more flexibility to do whatever you want to do. And lastly, the third point that I want to be talking about is you can turn them into written materials, articles, ebooks, reports, and brandable reports. So let's say, for example, that you get an audio ebook or an audio article, and they are not transcribed, which means they're not turned into text. You just have the audios, that's it. For a lot of the most part, most people will not transcribe them because it's something that's hard to do. That's why earlier when I was talking about creating videos, to mainly listen and jot down the main points. Now, you can definitely go to Rent-A-Coder or Scriptlance.com or even Guru.com to find people to transcribe the audio into written materials, and it's actually quite cheap. So you can turn them into written materials like articles. Let's say you have an audio ebook, or you want to split it up into sections. And once that's done, you transcribe them into actual articles. Or you can transcribe them into ebooks. You take a bunch of audio articles and bunch them together, and you've got an ebook, and you can rewrite it into your own ebook. Now, while these methods are a little harder if you do it yourself, of course, if you hire somebody else, it would make it easier. But these ideas would be unique because most people just would not do that. And we've got reports and brandable reports. So with reports, you could take the audio articles and turn them into articles, and then add materials onto them to create a report. Or for affiliate marketing purposes, you could do brandable reports, just so that you can get the main concept and create a brandable report that you can give out for free, and you can build your list or even sell it. So if you take all of these ideas into consideration, many of them which most people will not do simply because of the work involved, but you can always go to Rent-A-Coder and Scriptlance, as I mentioned earlier, to find somebody to do it for cheap. That way you can focus on other things. However, with audio articles, a lot of times they're easier to transcribe, so you could even do them yourself. But the secret here is to do these methods, yet at the same time perhaps add more materials onto it, whether it's written materials, audio materials, whether you're going to add audio music to your audio ebooks, audio articles, and things like that.